Everybody, it is time for us to get to work. Kind of doing some work here. Work, 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 work. It's always work. All right. I am trying to do practice today. We're doing practice. I haven't done practice in a long, long time. I keep working, 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 and not doing practice. So we're going to do some practice today. I'm going to see how far along we can do practice, though, because I feel like. Okay, well, that didn't work like I wanted it to. Let's see what we got going on here. We're going to see how far down the rabbit hole we've gone. Okay, well, some of these edits are not editing. So I am looking for a picture, a source picture here. Let's turn on some music, though. Let's turn on to jams. What do you think today? Future pop sounds good. So part of my ongoing long-term problem that I have routinely is that the synchronization between my PC and my phone is never as solid as I want it to be. The Google Drive doesn't transfer all the time. So I found an awesome picture I wanted to use as a base, but it hasn't transferred to my PC yet. So I'm going to have to find it. It's somewhere. In my Google folder. Google Photos folder. I found it a couple of days ago. I was like, well, there's that. Okay, found. I can never figure out where it went. This is the correct phone. This is the incorrect phone. I have two things. I'm trying to avoid doing the open the phone thing on the. I'll open my photos on the phone app maintenance doodly wop because I have to then save it and stick it somewhere and put it. And then I can find it. All right. Good morning, Brent. All right. There we go. So this is a cosplayer, and I love this pose because she put her hands so close to the camera. I was going to use this picture because I think this is a cool picture. We're just going to use it for the rough background first. I'm just going to just line up her. I think this cosplayer is rather genius, by the way, because of the way she does her eyes. Because if you look, she's doing the makeup around her eyes in a way that makes it look like her eyes are actually larger. It makes them look more anime-like. She naturally has a very young-looking face to begin with, which helps a lot with manga and anime style. But it also means that those of us that actually draw manga anime style, it's a whole lot easier to deal with. Let's try that color instead. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to work the pencil on this. We're just going to take her features. That's all we need, just so that we can keep the, because we're going to, all the lighting and everything else is going to come in later from a different source because we want it to match. Right, so we're just going to match her. She's hyperextended her elbow. So weird. You add to that we've got kind of this super dramatic way she put her fingers out here is kind of cool too. Alright, so we're just kind of doing this. There we go, like so. Remember, we're gonna have to build some of the anatomy underneath the clothing here because she's got a glove on, and that's gonna be really hard for me to determine where things are. Why can't we block that one? Maybe I can block it. Like this guy here. So I can block him from Restream's side, but do we know whether he's an actual bot or, I mean, what are we saying? Because of course the problem I've got is I don't know what he's saying. He might be speaking, he might be actually legit, right? And if he's legit, then I want to talk to him. Like, it might be a real person, but I don't speak Cyrillic, and it's translating into Cyrillic. So I can't see if it's a bot or if it's a real person. Because if it's a real person, it's cool. I got nothing. We can leave them on there. It's fine. Oh, look at the shape of where her body goes, though. This way, right? Down here and then this way. And that means that her body's out here in the back. Oh, that's why it's coming from Brian's channel. But if it's, like I said, if it's a real person, then I'm totally okay with them being here. I don't have any way to translate the Cyrillic, though. So I can't. And since I don't speak Russian, if you are the person who's doing this on the Russian, the Russian / I guess it could be anything Cyrillic language, do me a favor, please, and try to use the English characters if you want me to respond. Because it doesn't Google Translate. I'm not getting a Google Translate on this function. I don't have the function to translate. So sadly, I cannot translate. Broken English is fine. I actually speak Japanese, so if you happen to speak Japanese, that'll work. I don't need Google Translate for Japanese, so if you can speak Japanese, I'm good. Okay, so we're also going to think about, we're following her anatomy, right? So moving this around here and moving around here, we gotta remember that she's got her trap, or not her traps, the traps are right up here. We're gonna move this around there. I'll even do these ears because they're cute. All right, she's got these cool little ears that she's got on, like so. And zoom in. And the thing is, because she does this with her makeup, I'm going to actually trace it as if it's not her makeup, right? So we're going to come in here and we're going to do this. We're going to go all the way out to the intended location, which is here, right? So that's not where her real eye is, but that's the intended, that's where she wanted it to go with the makeup. So I'm going to do that. And then track in on her eye. See? There we go. I have no issue with any person of any nation. I have a lot of issue with a lot of governments. Thank you for translating. I appreciate that. But I have a couple of Russian buddies who grew up in Kazakhstan and various things like that. So, but I also have a couple of Ukrainian buddies, so I just feel bad for the whole lot of them. So many people are out there in a conflict, and that's so sad. But I don't have any problems with the people. People are people. We're all the same. Except for the people who think that we're not the same. Those people, those people are not as good. Okay, so looks like she put her hand here, but her hair got in between this, so we've got a gap between her face, which is here, and her hand. Okay, so now we look at the way we've traced her whole body out. I'm gonna come down here and do this. All right, now that we've done that, I'm gonna bring this color back up, right? We've missed one important piece. We need her mouth in here too. We also need to finish this arm up. No. There we go, like so. This arm's coming up like this. So that's a good question. Because my opinions on those states vary. They change depending on where we are on that, because honestly, that's not my area. I didn't grow up there. It's not my homeland, you know? So, in a lot of degrees, I feel kind of like I don't have a right to have much of an opinion. It's not my homeland. See how she has these little fangs? I'm going to exaggerate those fangs a little. But I will give you kind of a note here that generally if it is, I mean, my feeling here is that generally speaking, when it comes to world politics, I feel, with the exception of 2 countries, I feel like I don't usually have the right to poke my head in, you know? So, oh man, I just now realized that I captured a hair when I put down this new Hey, Hone. No. I don't work on Fridays, Hone. Even though it's not Friday. Well, no, it is Friday for you, isn't it? It's still Friday, isn't it? It's just Friday night. Nope, it's Saturday. No, yeah, it's Friday night. It's almost Saturday morning. Yeah. Ooh. What happened to you? All right. All right. So we've done the pencil line, just tracing out what's actually under here on the original. And what's so funny is her pose is so anime that I actually don't need to modify it much. It's already so wildly anime-esque. It's so dramatic and everything like that. I really don't need to do much to it. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what it's supposed to be. We all suffer for our art, One. One, we all suffer. I mean, this is the first time I've been able to get back to putting pen on paper all week. You know where I have been, Hone? I've been teaching 30 teenagers all week long. I'm still trying to draw my tiefling, if you're wondering. Now I'm just going to put in the ram's horns that she has. Do I support U.S. aid to Ukraine? Interesting question. Probably. But again, that's sort of an interesting question. In general, I feel kind of like the attack on Ukraine was unprovoked. So, but again, I know that Zelensky has a number of various different there's a lot of different things going on in that area. However, I don't know if I support support the concepts that are kind of going on in certain areas of our world anyway, so I'm not sure what's going on in that. I don't know. In general, my thought was that, the attack was relatively unprovoked. I wonder if her ears would be underneath or inside the loops of... They probably would, wouldn't they? Right? So they kind of be inside the loops of the horns. Oh, that'd be awesome, Honey. That'd be great. Yeah. But you can pass the test. We got this, Honey. We got this. If I might, I'd recommend, Colorado. It's a wonderful state. I think you'd like it out here. So to answer your question about Ukraine, when it comes to Ukraine, I have a buddy who's from Kazakhstan, and I've known her for 25 years. She's never liked Putin. She's never liked Putin at all. And I have a lot of faith in what she says as a person. She's a person I know. She's a person I trust. I have faith in what she says. So I will tend to side to the Ukrainian side because she tends to side to the Ukrainian side. And she's Russian, she's not Ukrainian. So when it comes to internal politics, I follow kind of what my buddies tell me. Like I said, since she's Russian, I kind of also, that lends a little bit of authenticity, because usually whenever you have an argument between two people, anybody who's a friend with one or friend with another, you tend to go, okay, I can't really trust what you're saying because, But Florida, well, yeah, maybe. So, honey, to be fair, Florida is, they have a law that says that they have to publish bad things in the newspaper. So when people do stupid stuff, they have to publish it. We don't have that same law in Colorado. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have weird stuff, but anyway. Getting an interesting quiz, though, from our Cyrillic fan over here. and that's all the music we get. You need to go from well, that's a long way. Let's switch to lounge. Time to go home, honey. And Brett knows because he did most of that just a little while ago. All right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're young, so we obviously we don't want young people to just wander off because that would be scary. We wouldn't know where you were. We'd feel like we'd lost you. So that would be. I totally agree. I don't think anybody has a problem. We will do the best that we can, but obviously, if you can't make it to Colorado, that's totally fine. It would be cool, though, if you came over here, you'd be in the same time period as us. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen it either. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't drive. You can't drive here yet. I know. I just taught a whole bunch of 15-year-olds about that this whole week. I spent the entire week doing that. So, yep, you are exactly at the age that I generally teach. Nope. No spoilers for me, please, Brink. And no, honey, 15 can't ride a motorcycle here either. The difference, of course, is that if you are on private property, you can, but it's too dangerous. So, see, that looks a whole lot better, I think. Interesting, huh? Oh no. Zorch. I had the funniest discussion with one of my kids during the class because we were talking about alcohol and how it affects driving. And she asked why it was that if she had done these 2 alcohols, she had not gotten a hangover. And I said, usually it's about dehydration. It has nothing to do with the amount of alcohol or anything like that. It's all about dehydration. No, it's not going to be any fun. And so after class, she came up to me and she said, "So you endorse underage drinking?" I said, "No, of course I don't endorse underage drinking. Don't be ridiculous. But I'm also a junior high teacher and I'm not stupid." She was like, "Cool." I was like, "Okay." I'm like, used to teach junior high. Aw, that's a bummer. When my wife is drunk, it's actually very entertaining. My wife is funny and adorable when she's like completely zonked. It's very funny. It's a bummer she's not fun. All right. So now we have sort of a... Oh no. No. Don't know who that is, but I'm not going to answer it. Still kind of saddens me a little that I will never hear my dad say incoming call from me. Sometimes I think about that. Because he has his own ringtone and it's special that he made himself where he goes, "Incoming call from me." And that's sad that I will never hear that again. And that one, I think that more than anything bothers me. You know, it's like, I mean, obviously, if I really wanted to, I could just load it up and play it. So it's not like it's gone forever, but it'll never play. Well, I mean, short of me being in some kind of Stephen King novel, it will never play by itself. So, just fixing some of this anatomy here. She locked the door? What's the story? Honey. No, this was already a dramatic enough pose, but I'm making it even more dramatic. So, entertainingly dramatic at this point in time. There we go. So I'm pushing the pose a little bit. And then we're going to do... I'm going to like alter the angle just a bit. I actually kind of want her tilted a little bit more inward like this. I'll give a lot more for that finger. Give some room for the rest of the anatomy in here. Right? And the thing is that when I look at this picture, what I'm going to want is I'm going to want this somewhere close to the center of the picture. So I'm gonna, no, not that, there we go. I'm gonna tilt her back in, like so. And that way this is closer to the center. Oh no. Oh no. And the break room's not good. It's gonna get you busted with your boss, right? Do this. Just bring this finger back around like so. Ivy is a thinner woman, so I'm going to, because Ivy's very, she's had a rough life, so she's not very, she doesn't have a lot of, this is the character. The character doesn't have a lot of weight to her. So I want to make sure her hip doesn't go out too far. I'm going to bring this back in a little too. I'm not even saying that this particular voice, or this particular cosplayer has a lot of hip either. She doesn't. But just wanting to make sure. Oh, no. Man, this is getting kind of wild over here, honey. You have the story going today. This is the drama for the show. All right. Right. Break the door. I mean, I don't know what your boss is going to think about that. Right? I was going to say, it's going to cut your salary. Just like this. All right. Right, exactly. Who got the drink for her? All right, I'm going to move this in right here because I'm going to need more room on her chest. Oh, man. There we go. Yep, exactly. This seems like it's a lot for her, huh? All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I've deleted the original under here because I don't want any influence from the original photograph, right? The only thing we're taking from it is the proportions, and that's it. Beyond that, we're going to continue on our own recognizance out here. We're gonna do our own thing. So I'm just clean off my monitor here. Right? Guess you're sleeping there. All right. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Good. All right. We'll keep you company if it helps any. Brian will be here in about 15 minutes. He can keep you company too. I mean, you know. The bed's not, well, yeah, but. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this because we don't need it. We just stole her features. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to think about the composition of this. All right. She already stole your bed, so there's nothing we can do. Okay. Thinking about the composition. I feel like I want the background to be this shade of blue or in this shade of blue-ish, right? So we're going to go on ahead and start with the background and move forward because it's going to give us a good idea of what, in the end, what we've got to deal with the larger photograph, the larger picture. So we're going to start here and just kind of talk about like the background, right? We're going to start with this as a base color. All right, we'll kind of go in here. What we're trying to do is just get a base color in. So we're going to get this base color in. And lay it down. Right? I'm going to grab just a few more different kind of variations on this base color. So I'm going over here and just kind of grabbing some of it so we get kind of just some variation on it, right? Some kind of like just a little bit of sort of here and there. So it's just, this gives us an idea of what the ground color is going to be, the background. And this is going to be good because we need to then decide where our lighting is coming from on this. And the last one we had sort of the moon in the background. And though the moon is cool, maybe moonlight would be neat for this. We've got to think of what this scene is. Well, yeah, if she can't yell at you now if you've been pounding on the door and she slept through it. She can't really yell at you for it. So, I mean, She can try to yell at you, but it's not fair. So I'm going to pick some of this light color right out here, which is very bluish color sort of stuff. And I'm going to just come in here with the big soft brush. This really soft brush, right? We're going to kind of glow in on the side, or just bring this up, the value around the outside edge to this side, right? Because I'm going to be doing two different light sets. There'll be, I liked what I was doing last night, where I had the moonlight shining off of one side and the heat shining off the other. So I'm going to take the same critter. We're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to go with that same concept. We're going to take a sort of a moonlight-esque effect over here. Get some moonlight up through this area. Right, we're going to come back through. And then over on this side, we're going to have red, like a torch light, because this is D&D and we should have torches, right? I'm just going to come back through, just kind of clean this up a little. See how it's kind of uneven. So one of the things that's been recommended to me a number of times is to get your light sources figured out first. Because once you have your light sources figured out, you know where things are going and stuff like that. So we're going to set up a light source here. And I'm just going to set up another layer here. It says light source reminder. The only real reason that that's there is I'm going to take this orange that's right here, and we're going to remind ourselves that there's a light source here. And that's it. That's its whole job. Later, we'll get rid of it. But while it's here, I'll remember to light up the body going this direction. And since it's not actually going to be there in the end result of the it will be there, but not in this method. So this is where we're going. So we've got blue from this side and orange from this side. So everything we do on this is going to be blue from one side and orange from the other. 90% of what's awesome about this is QuaCk's beautiful and awesome pose. So we've got to remember that. So, okay, here's our line work. We're going to move up on a layer on this. And we're going to lay in the green for her skin. The midtones on her skin are going to be right at the center green. And this way I don't have to give her any kind of specialness or anything like that. But the other thing I'm going to do at this time is go get this technical pin, and I'm going to do this. That's out in the nowheres land, but I'm going to look at that and look at the value and say, okay, is that really her midtone that we want? Is that not the midtone we want? And I think I actually kind of want her to be a lighter skinned midtone. So I'm going to put it right through here. We're going to do this. Maybe not that. That looks a little too battleship gray. There we go. More like an olive. Because we're going to remember that we're going to get everything from highlights to dark going through this. And they're going to gradients through the entire thing. So we want the middle ground. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to track in on this. Actually, I'm going to use the skin brush because when I do, I get a little bit of a scrape to it, right? You know, a little bit more of a, like this, so it scrapes a little bit more. In actuality, I probably shouldn't use my skin brush, but that's all right. And the reason I say that is because it's going to be... Okay, put this on top here, because as long as it's way on top, we won't... No, do not paint on it. There we go. And this way we can still see where we are on this. We're just going through and we're blocking this out. Does the music sound like it's going wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. This is blocking in all of the painting area here. So we're just blocking it in. Okay. We know we have two parts that are basically set up for line work. I'm just blocking out what's going on here. But if I'm looking at this light here, right? The best way to do this, because if you're going to use a PC to block out your, or if you're going to paint on a PC, which of course we are, I'll check. There, got a bad block out. Kind of go in here, a little bit like that, fix that a little bit. But in general, we're doing pretty good. Like, we're doing pretty good. All right. Now we're going to look at and decide how we're going to do our color codes. So I'm going to go here with this. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to do a glow dodge. Right? I'm going to take this white here, this purple, which is not really white, it's purple, right? And I'm just going to come along here. I'm going to talk about what's being hit straight on by this, right? Because this is where the light's hitting straight on. It's going to hit some of her ear, like so. And hit some of her face and like her cheek, like this, right? Because that's definitely a part. And bring it down almost so that we can see more of what's going on here. All right, kind of going around this corner here, like so. And we're going to have this muscle group right here. It's also going to get caught up in this. That's going to tell us the size of this arm right here. We're going to get a shoulder, behind this trap. This trap, or the delt, the deltoid here is going to go around this corner and shadow in that part. So though this part's going to be illuminated, and of course the part of her back there is going to be illuminated too, and her arm is going to be this way, and we're going to get, there's a couple of different vein groups that are underneath here. And so we're going to highlight each one of those as they come around this corner. But for the most part, this side's in shadow, which is going to be reflected by this light. We have the same thing going on here, coming along the top part of the thumb, like so. And we're coming around this corner here. So we're describing everything that's being hit directly if we look at this light, right? Because this light's coming in this way. And from our angle looks, from the way that the angles look, we want to make sure we follow all of that logic. Right? We have this logic kind of going in here. This light coming from this way. We're going to use the same color too to highlight pieces, right? So we come in through here and come out all the way to there. And bring it around. And then I'm going to look at the logic here, right? I feel like we're going to get a cut like that, as her thumb doesn't quite cover all of those pieces, right? Or her thumb covers a shadow right here. So it's got a shadow kind of going through there, right? And the question, of course, is, does this go past the thumb? And yes, it does. So, but I'm also going to feel like it's got a shadow right there. So this is going to do this. And we're going to get, again, looking straight at the light. So we look at how the light is responding to this piece. And her finger is turned back. So we want it to look like that. We want that to kind of go like that because we're following the contours of what this light sees. This light's going to get a lot more of the front of her finger as her finger bends forward into the light. And we're going to get a lot more of the roundness of the fingertip here, like this, right? This is all being reflected back by that light. It's bounced. Same thing here. Going over here to this, we're going to get a little bit of this on this edge, like so. Like so. Like that. And then just the tip of the finger here on this, and we're actually going to probably pull it even back like so because it's not getting direct hits from that side. The question is the palm on this side getting hit? Probably just a little right there, just enough to kind of make it look like it exists, right? And now we can kind of go back with this and we can just smooth it out, right? Smooth it out. Just smooth it a little bit. Smooth it in, right? Kind of going like that, kind of. And same thing here. We'll smooth this in. Smooth this in. Smooth it. Right? Just kind of smooth this in. We'll come back in a little bit later. All I'm trying to do here is get a feel of what my painting is going to look like, right? So we kind of got this going for it. Coming in here, let's get in up close. So we're not going to get any kind of shading here from this side on this part of her eye to about here because of the horn, right? If we look at the light source, it's hitting the horn first before it hits her face. So this is actually going to cause all of this upper area is not going to show. All right. And the only reason the lower area does is because her face is moving forward towards us, right? Over the cheek. What also is going to be hit, though, is her nose, right? Just going to get a little bit there on the nose. That's a little on the nose there, don't you think? Right. Bring this back and up and into this whole part right there. I'm going to come up here like so. And just make sure we kind of hit that point. Okay. Now, if we think about where this light is versus this hand, kind of moving across her body, we're going to get just a touch there, maybe a little into this finger. That's it, right? The rest of this is all going to be in shadow from the moonlight. So the other thing I'm going to do now is, even though we don't have the color in for the horns, I know that they're here like this, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure that I've got all that moonlight, that wonderful moonlight kind of going across the horns. Definitely on this horn, right? Definitely here. Those beautiful ram horns that she's now finally grown, now that she no longer has to worry about it. Right? I'm going to tip through here on this part, and on this part of the horn, just kind of going like that. I'm going to give a nice sheen right through here. Now, the truth is, we're going to have what's called subsurface scattering through this. It's not going to be that sharp when we come back around. Right? We're not going to have quite that dramatic of a setup for it. It's called subsurface scattering, and we'll come back through on that, and we'll fix that in a moment. All right, I'm going to come through here, and we're just going to clean this up a little. We actually haven't picked a color for this yet. And we probably ought to. So I'm going to go on to this level here. We've actually got enough that it's headed in straight into the white, and I don't want it to be white. It needs to be kind of a cream colored. So we're going to go over kind of into this cream skin colored color. Go down here, grab my skin brush again. Well, let's pop it up to, I don't know, 70. Just do this. This is the base color for it. So while on the base layer, I'm going to do this to remind myself that that's the base color. Okay, I'm going to come back through here. I'm just going to do this. Just come in here and just make sure that all of this is colored in at some point, right? All right, we're going to just do this. And come around like so. We're just putting in the color and the base on this so that we've got the nice solid base color. You're going to love her hair in a second here, guys. You're going to love this. It's about to go completely insane bonked. So, you know, but Ivy is Ivy, and she is who she is, and that's a thing. So for those of you who are wondering, who is Ivy? Ivy is my tiefling bard character. And she's fluffy, and she's cute, and she's got a traumatic, stupid back past that is dumb, and it's making her be fluffy and cute so that she doesn't have to face her realities. So there's that. Fluffy and cute for her is making sure she doesn't face her bad things. I'm wondering if our Eastern counterpart that was on here earlier was pro-Russia, and I think I might have offended them by being pro-Ukraine. And like I said, I try to stay relatively, I mean, with the exception of Japan, I will always have an opinion about Japan and Japanese politics because that's just who I am. But as far as the Russia-Ukrainian conflict, I tend to listen to what my buddies are saying, people who actually have a vested interest. And my buddy from Kazakhstan, she has a vested interest. You know, she was there. She spent time in Ukraine. Yeah, and stuff like that. So I tend to listen to her. Her opinions matter to me. So yeah, that's sort of my thought too. I think the complication on this one, Brent, is that often people think that Zelensky is the one who's oppressing. I think the other side feels that Zelensky is oppressing. And I follow that. I mean, I get it. I know what they're kind of... I get that that does kind of change and alter how you look at things. Sure. I mean, yeah. mean, my thought is, as long as democracy is being served, I'm wherever I am. Okay. Mid-color for her hair is here. I'm not kidding. Maybe even here. Here. Birthday cake pink. Because Ivy. Ivy's hair is birthday cake pink. Which is one of the reasons why I'm using this particular cosplayer for Ivy on this one, is because her hair is actually like birthday cake pink. And it's because she wants it to be birthday cake pink, not because it's naturally birthday cake pink. Naturally, it's like a mousy brown. You know what? I am too. I'm over it. I'm so over it. I'm also a big fan of direct democracy. Yeah, it means the crazies vote, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I think I'm over representational democracy. We have the technology. I'm okay with it now. I was a big fan of representational democracy for a very long time, but now I'm starting to realize that, as they said, the taxation with representation isn't so cool either. Sort of thing. Okay, so there's our blocking. We're doing good on blocking. All right, her base colors are in. Right. Okay, the other thing we want to do is go up on the glow dodge, grab some more of this light up here, right? And we're going to come back in. Some other areas we want to make sure we cover is like back here. Okay, so there will be queso. There will be queso in a mass. There will be areas that are dark. So these are areas, because of the nature of her pose, where no part of either light is getting to it at some point, right? And that's going to be something we're going to want to work with too. So we're going to take this, which is a blue, this dark blue. We're going to bring it down. We're going to come in through here like this. This area, like, for example, is just in shadow. This whole area is going to be in shadow down here. Not up here, because this is going to reflect, right? But down here, right? We're going to down here-ish, right? Maybe even a little right here. This is all going to be in deep shadow. Right? Because it's in shadow from this light, it's in shadow from this light. So we want to make sure we kind of represent that through here, like so. Right through here. This is going to be in pretty rough shadow. This is also going to help us define where her fingers are. So that's in deep shadow. The other area that I see it's going to be in very deep shadow is through here, right? Because this is where her neck is being covered to some degree by her hand, and her hand's coming along here and doing this. We're going to follow the contour of her body through here, but this is all going to be in deep shadow too because it's not on the left side. Typically speaking, I'm going to put a little bit of this deep shadow under her horns for the benefit of when we do a little bit of just like back here is also going to be deep shadow. So part of her hair is going to be deep shadow back here, but not this part. We'll come back and fix that. Deep shadow goes through here. The horns is, come on, occlusion. We're doing the occlusion, right? So here. And I actually feel like maybe we should even do this with darken, right? Or maybe even darker color, right? No, darker color just makes it look weird. Difference. Nope, that's not good enough. Color dodge, that's not going to help us at all. Add, nope. Color? I'll figure it out. Hard mix. No. You know what? Multiply is what we need. We'll just leave it on multiply. All right. And we'll come back and fix it. Okay. The other parts of the deep shadow we're going to look into here is like right through here, right? This is going to be a deep shadow moment, right? Just right here. And probably just a little bit right here. So we're effectively putting in eyeshadow for her. She's got eyeshadow a little bit, right? Because it's makeup. But what I'm going to also do is pull this back out just a little so that it's just kind of like so. Right. All right, we're going to just do that. At some point, we're going to merge all of this together into one unit and then start working that color gradient back. And then we'll be able to come in here and fix some of this, which is not ideal. Right, so I'm just kind of going through here and just, this is just giving, so this is giving us our texture. So we'll have a texture for this. When we decide to actually pop it down into something usable, we're going to have this nice texture for it. And the same thing's going to go on here. We're going to get an object occlusion through here, which is going to be kind of more like so, like this, right? Because we're kind of coming around this corner here. And then we're going to drop across her breast like this and come through this section, right through here. We've done ambient occlusion through this area. And we're going to correct a line error right here with this too, because she's got a line error there. I'll give a little bit of ambient occlusion right back here because that'd be helpful. And then we're going to leave this all to the other light, which we haven't even started yet. So we're going to do this, come in here just to give some texture to her hair, because we know we're going to have to come back for that hair in a minute. And we're going to do this, just mix that in, and give some color to that hair. Here, see how we're kind of giving it some feel and gradient. And also come back through here and just smooth this out for right now, because this is not the final version of this that we're going to be doing. And deal with this, put it like that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of come through here. And take this brush, come along the underside of her chin like so, because we do need that. This is going to be lit up by that side, so we're going to do that as well. So we kind of do this, come around like so, and then what we need to do is go back up on our glow dodge, and we're going to say moonlight. Right? This is the moonlight color dodge, glow dodge. So we're going to come in here with this guy here. Remember to hit her neck. But we want to remember one thing. That, right? So when we come through with her neck, we want to do this. Right? And that's the edge of this horn reflecting on her neck. Right? So we want to keep cognizant. Her horns come forward, so they're like this. Right? You want to be keeping cognizant of that. All right, we are almost at a point now where I want to add the front door has been opened. Coming through here, I'm just going to highlight through on her hair like so. Like this, and kind of come back like so. Just go through this area like this. So we're going to do that. And feel like a cat right now. It's very strange. Purr, 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 purr. The kiddo has come back. The kiddo's not supposed to be on screen. The kiddo knows it. So the kiddo's doing the right thing and staying off the screen, which is good. So now we've got some hair going over there, and we're getting along here just fine. Now we're going to do another glow dodge. This glow dodge is going to be glow dodge. This one is firelight. Remember, we've reminded ourselves where this firelight is, right? So this light source indicates that there's a fire right about here, right? And we're going to go on ahead and sort of work with that. I'm going to take this orange, which is our already kind of designated orange for this, and we're going to color in onto Ivy. We're going to about the same. So coming in here on the skin, we're going to take the skin, we're going to go up to 70. We're going to do the same thing we did. We're going to do this. All right, coming along like so. Every part of her where it's lit up by the firelight. And that's this entire side right through here. I'm not feeling like my colors are as dramatic as I wanted them to be. They're not as different. So I'm going to probably alter and change these colors. Pray I do not alter them again. Sort of thing. All right, so we're going to do this. This is giving a lot of detail to this side of her body. Like so. And we use lighter colors for further back. I'm going to go a little lighter on it. Okay. So from here, the problem is that our light source for the front part of her body is going to be foreshortened. So I'm kind of going in here and I'm just coloring in like this. And what I'm going to be aware of is this light source is hitting her arm and it's casting a shadow against her chest. Her chest, of course, being a chest, is a variable shape. So even the sternum doesn't just come out like this. The sternum is going to come in and around. So this is going to be much more of a rounded shape through here, like so, where I'm going to want to bring around the shape of that light to match the way that her chest works. So we're going to go do this. I'm going to go on ahead and bring this back as a soft brush. We're going to come back around sort of like this. Right. Take the blending brush and blend in here, like so. You're like, what are you doing? You have ruined the whole picture. It was doing so good. It'll be fine. I feel like this is what you always see with artists. There's like this moment where you're like, did you really just trash that picture? To some degree, I feel like all of us artists also get to a point where we're like, ah, crap, we got to rescue the picture. You know, same thing. We can rescue it. Okay, so moving along the arm length here, we're going to want this to be up on it like so, and move still with the option of how to get this to work. So I love the way this arm's already setting up. This arm is looking great, so I don't need to do much with the arm here. I'm just gonna mix this a little and just smooth it out so that when we get back into this, we don't have to mess with it too much, right? So I'm just smoothing out the paint on it. Okay. From a distance, we are looking a little bit better. Still looks a little strange. We're gonna have to come back and do something with it. And what if I change this to an add, right? Because now it's more of an orange, and we get more of that kind of thing, or an add glow, which might actually be what we're looking for here, is an add glow dropped down to more like so. So then we get like that kind of thing. We could do the same thing here where we do an add glow, and that gives that a much more dull blue that we're going to be looking for when we get to this sort of ghostly look of things, right? So we're going to come back here with this add glow, tap, right? I come back in. I'm just going to, knowing the contours of this hand, we don't need it to be here, but we do need it to be here, right? We'll need it to be here, especially, and then right through here. And when we look at the way that this is contoured out, it's going to be on this side of this finger. It's going to be on this side of the thumb. All right, so we're kind of looking at the way that the light source goes from here to here. Right, we're looking at how the light source reacts to the different parts of the body. It's going to be all along the front part of her chest and through this area right through here, all the way down her leg like so, and then up through this area like that, and then across her stomach, which is under here. We're going to have just a slight amount on this side too. Right, so we're talking a little bit about that and how we've kind of got it going like this. So there we go. So when we look at just the body layout, and this is a real rough, so we're really, really rough here, but we're going to do this. So here, up here on the horns, we're going to have it all on the underside like this, and on this side right here. And then under this side like this, we're going to be across her ear. We're going to front of her fingers like so. Nope, that was not what I wanted to do, because we are not doing that color. This is a different color guy. All right. The thing is, I'm not feeling like this is warm enough. Yes, her skin is green. So but I still feel like it's not warm enough. So I'm going to go into my hue, and I'm going to start rotating it, right? Leveling it over. Bring up its saturation too. Darken it out. There we go. That's more, I think, what I'm after, because this is just the base, right? We're just doing the base colors. So I'd rather it be a brighter, orangier sort of color on here, that just giving her a light grouping. Okay, so we're going to need, the only problem is this, that actually is very red. So we need to, before we do this, go back to normal, snag it, because we're going to need this anytime we come in this area. Go up here, take the technical pin, and then we're going to add it to our color palette. That's this one right here. Okay. Now we can go back to it and go back to add and drop it down into the 30s or the 40s, right? But every time we snag this color, we need to come back up here and remember to snag that as our highlight. Otherwise it won't match, right? Because that matches. Right, so we're going to come back in, and in here we're going to do this. All I'm doing now is just following the contours of the fingers and everything like that, because we're going to need that. We're going to need that, especially way up here up close. Right, we're going to need that a lot. We're going to come across like so. We're just adding in details to this, right? Kind of follow all of these contours. This goes into shadow almost immediately, but comes out of shadow there. This goes along the side like so. This stays very, very solid on this side. She's almost looking human with her skin here. Okay, coming across like that side. So now we'll go up into her face. Now I've been avoiding this because this is going to be complicated and difficult. But let's look at the planes of her face that have been hit. This part of the face here is definitely illuminated. This is the primary part of the face that I think is going to be brightened up by this. So we're going to go on ahead and make sure this plane, this entire plane is brightened up. Through here, we're going to get sort of that same thing. It's going to come around the back here, not very much, and then we're going to come through here as well. Even though I have this blue where it's trying to tell me to go a different direction, it's still going to be a plane that I'm going to use, right? So then we're going to, of course, have her nose. Her nose, because she's floofy and whatever, her nose is going to paddle in and then come back out. The front plane of her forehead is also going to be like this. And then on this side over here, just this part of her cheek. And I think they're going to interact at this point here. And this is where we have an interaction between these two colors, and they're going to interact, right? These are the planes that I'm looking at. Kind of bring this around underneath her lips, and then her chin, right? I'm thinking about all the planes of her face that are going to be sort of brought forth by all of that color, because this isn't staying this high. We're gonna drop it down like so, and then we're gonna come back in with this and work it. So I'm not worried. I just want to make sure I see it right now. So let's go ahead and bring this up. I'm gonna bring this through like so. I'm gonna bring this around. There we go, like that. I'm gonna bring this over, and all I'm doing now is just blending it in. And we're going to blend it in here. blend it in, blend it, blendy. I want a coffee. Dang it. Who's close to Japan? Hone is like the closest we've got to Japan here. Hone needs to go over and get me a blendy from Japan. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the moonlight. Just blend it in. All we're doing is giving the gradient of the operation of the skin, so that when we come back in to actually do the super, right? Orion beer, huh? I am so ridiculously addicted to blendies. I can't ever get them anymore now. I actually don't think the company makes them anymore, which makes me super sad. Okay, so, all right. Now that we've done that, we've kind of got a gradient going there. We've got a gradient and all of this stuff. We kind of feel like we understand a little bit about what's going on here. I'm going to just take out everything that we have that's a guide, right? Because this is all guide. And then we're going to take out the backgrounds too, leaving us with just the skin. This is just the skin piece. And then I'm going to take one last look at some things here. Now that we've got just the skin in here, and kind of see I've got some problems going on with color here. So while we're on this main layer, before we head off anywhere else, let's go ahead and patch in that color. I'm going to use just the skin brush for this, because now I kind of feel good about what's going on elsewhere. I'm just going ahead and just patch this in. All right, we're going to do this, do this. I'm just patching up all of the little holes that have kind of shown up. I can see them in here now. Once we take that line work out, it's easier to see where things get kind of, I don't know, squirrely. Squirrely. Okay, so we're just going to define in some of this area like this. I don't want it to be that squirrely. All right, so we're just cleaning up that, bringing out that here, which I have made more ridiculous even than my cosplayer. Alright, we're going to do this. When 900 years old you are, look as good you won't, I would say. Back in though for this, because I can't. You need to fill out her fingertips, but I was using too big of a brush before, and I didn't want to come back in and kind of mess this up. So there we go. There we go. Kind of do this. We're going to do this and this, and then that's going to define that. All right. So this is our rough color palette. We're going to come back and just make sure we've got everything in here defined. Because her hair is going to go out on another layer. Her horns are going to go out on another layer. So we want to make sure that everything has color before we merge all of this together into one big happy mess. All right. Actually, you can start to see already where it's going to be. It's starting to form up. It's starting to actually kind of make some sense. Things are starting to happen. Right? we're getting much more of a formed up design, and some color gradient is in here, and we've added some texture to her body. So we've got the texture going and everything like that, and this is all great. I'm going to drop down that moonlight a little bit because we're going to come back over it with a different color and a little bit lighter. So that will happen in a bit. But for right now, we're going to call this the main layer, right? Now we kind of have an idea of where that's going. So the next thing I'm going to do then is I want to go ahead and start defining stuff. Okay. So this is our ink layer. That's what I usually call it. Not really an ink layer. Because the truth is that we're going to have to come in here with some other kind of color set and decide. I'm going to stand up on my back as usual. Okay. Coming in on the ink layer. Big thing on the ink layer is going to be her eyes. When you're painting, our eyes are never black, black, black. And even with her, she has black eyes. We're not going to be using black for it. But for the eyebrows, we're going to be using the eyelashes. We're going to be using a brown. And come in here with a very small, tight brush. I'm just going to do this. All right, so we're going to be doing this. Same thing here. We're going to bring it in. Bring that in. Turn off this. Now we're kind of defining in where her eyes are. Okay. We can come back now with this. We can cut into this just a little bit. There we go. So. All right, we're just kind of doing this. Now, the thing is with black eyes, because she has black eyes, I do want at some point to have depth of soul, like something horrible this way comes sort of eyes, but not just in the beginning. So we're switching to a darker blue here for the definition of just the very beginning definitions of her eyes. I'm going to go in here and we're just going to put them in underneath here on the color layer. And I'm going to bring up my guide and tell me where that is on this. Right. Same thing right over here. We're going to do the same thing. We're just doing this. Yeah, honing a while back had such a horrible disaster, and I actually kind of am feeling like this is exactly what I was saying. Sometimes the second pass is just better. We've already gone through and done all of this work on that first picture. I spent probably 5 or 6 hours on that face alone, and I'm just going to kind of abandon it. I don't know if I'm going to abandon it totally, but I'm certainly abandoning it at the moment because this is better and we're getting a better result. So the second pass, oh yeah. Thank you. Let's save this since we don't have a save. Now we're saving. This is cute. This is coming along nicely. I like it. And turn this off. We're going to grab some of this brown that we've got in here, and all of the pieces, parts of her body where we're going to be trying to kind of get into a darker area, I'm going to use this brown for. It's going to give it a little bit more of a natural feel and less of like a super comic-y feel, because we don't want it to be that comic-y. Right, so we're going to do this. We're going to come back out. I'm just going to tap in here like so. I'll tap across here like so. Her teeth are in here at some point. We're going to have to go in and do that. I can start with kind of just putting in the bone pieces that are obviously going to match her bones. But she's also going to have the cute little like front teeth here too, which are going to be right along this top part, but we're going to have them shaded in at some point. Right, so she's being vampiric of some sort. So there we go. We're going to do kind of that and that. Right. At this point now, we've even got now enough of that you can see what's going on there. Right. You can actually, we have enough now that the rough painting is even starting to sort of form up. We're only a couple hours in. This is not bad for these. These usually are 5-6 hour paintings. And I don't even have an idea of what we're doing with her armor. I don't have any idea if she's even wearing armor. She wasn't necessarily an armed bard to begin with. Armed bard. It's like an armed guard, except different. Right? She wasn't armed necessarily. Okay. Now what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to come along this edge here, which has not been hit at all with much of anything. I'm going to take sort of I need this background's light blue, so like this color right here, which is this nice pretty purple. And I'm actually going to hit it direct. I'm going to hit right through here direct. So with my skin brush on this one, I'm going to bring it up some. Come along here and just hit direct. So. And we will mix this in as a blend. But A, it's not matching. Her shoulder isn't out there. And B, there we go, just like that. Now we can blend it. Now I want to blendy again. When we pull that out, we're getting a direct light there. It's going to be changed. We're going to bring it up a little bit more when we get there, but we're putting that light in for right now. Okay, so put in more light. Purple offsets very nicely to the green. Maybe I don't want to do that purple. All right. So far, we're doing great. I feel like we've got a lot of the form of the character here, and a lot of the design is in. We want to kind of get some roundness to it, so we're going to go through, and this time I'm going to take, well, first of all, I like my ink layer, so let's go ahead and just do some stuff with the ink layer, because this ink layer is never going to be touched. We're not going to merge it until the last second. So with the ink layer being like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this bone color that we've already got. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to define the eye, right? Because we already know that she's got, but this will help us identify where the eye is and where she's looking, because we're going to have to deal with that, right? Now, honestly, I'm going to bring her eye out to here, because even though our beloved cosplayer was like awesome, she is a human being, and this is an anime-esque picture. So we're going to do this. We're going to push that out further than even the cosplayer's eyes were. She would have bigger eyes if we get away with it, I'm sure. She's got huge eyes to begin with. As a human being, she's kind of freakishly awesome in that way. So I kind of am amazed, but hey, it's all good. Let's go ahead and just clean up this area here. We're just going through here and kind of pushing some of my color. And this is where we're going to start working the actual piece. And so I feel like QuACk at this point in time. Good. Now we can begin. To which Uhura can say, begin? Right. We're going to come along here. We're just going to do this. And we're going to come up to the side here. And then this. Right along here. There. All right. Oh, crap. We were up on the ink layer. That wasn't what we wanted to do. You bummer. You're right. We can fix it. Well, we don't have to fix it. However, we do have to do the thing. Because I was on the wrong layer. There's nothing we can do. Kill it out on this layer. Because all this work that I was doing in the hair and everything like that was on the wrong layer. As we come back through that area. Okay, which is fine. That's fine. Not a major loss. Right? All of this has to go though. Because we're not at that stage, and the ink layer needs to stay pretty much solid by itself. So that ink layer, let's just keep working in the ink layer. Right, so we'll come up here. We'll do this. It's funny, this character has an 18 charisma. And we were talking about, Brian and I were talking a little bit about how you don't have to be beautiful to have charisma. And that is true. However, also, I think that the funny part about this character is that she has an 18 charisma, so that makes her a very different kind of character that I've ever played before. I've never played a charisma hog before. So she's the first character I've ever played that's charisma heavy. Right? So I've been having a lot of fun playing this. She can do all kinds of funny things, but this is where we're going to switch from where she has been cute and floofy to now she's going to be more of a sexy character because she has grown up a little. Now I'm going to drop that into black. And while we're in black, now we can do some stuff inside here and kind of come back around like so. and just give some definition out here. Right? I'm going to come in here and we're just coming up along the top here. We use black as sparingly as possible, but out here, this is definitely a spot where black is welcome because it'll be on her eyelashes. Eyelashes will definitely be black, although pink eyelashes would be hysterical. She would make me think that pink eyelashes is an appropriate thing. That cracks me up a lot. Okay. Out here on the ink layer is also where we're going to have her eyebrows. And just a few more minutes left in this. Right? So, putting her eyebrows. Those go up on that ink layer too. She's already looking cool. Right? Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're definitely getting somewhere. All right. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm thinking it through. I think I'm pretty much happy with where we are. So I'm going to go on ahead and say we're good here at this point in time. Got about 4 minutes left. I feel like I could fuss with it a little more. But I feel like this is more of a holistically complete picture than we had before. Because we've got more of a holistically complete thing. I am going to do, well, let's do something real quick. Now we're kind of looking at this as our background so far. This is the rough. We are 2 hours in, and this is our rough. We're getting there. We've got basic lighting going. We've got. So what I'm going to do though on this is I'm going to say, because I'm curious as to what we get when we get highlights in. The highlight layer, generally speaking, I'll put in as a screen or as an overlay, depending on how I like it. And we're going to sit here and we're just going to put some blue in on one side. I'm going to take a look and see what my blue looks like on this. And see how we actually kind of have almost a cyan blue over here. So let's see what that looks like, right? Because that kind of looks nice, right? Undo. It gives it a real rich color. So we're going to come in here and we're going to do this. See what it looks like if we come in on the side like so. Really, really push this. Right here. Along her skin gradient like this. And then we'll put it across the top here like so. Top of her ear. We're only hitting the highlights. the parts that are the closest, the absolute closest to the moonlight that's coming from behind her. Right? Right there, and that's it. I'm just going to put it right here because that's right on the tip of her nose. And I'm going to put it all through here and give it just that nice little sheen there. And then right across the top of the horn. I wanted to bring the horn down. I can tell already, I'm kind of bummed by that, but that's all right. Right, highlighting her pink hair right here. Giving that little bit of definition. Right along here. And through here to indicate this is a different part of her body. Right? Right here and right there. Almost there. There we go. So. And then through here, it's going to highlight like this and give us a lot of, this is probably going to be the brightest part of this. Mostly because it's close. It's very, very close to us. Yes? So. There we go with moonlight shining off of one side of her. That's looking pretty good. That's a pretty solid thing, right? Now let's do the reverse highlight, right? The reverse highlight's going to be over here on the other side. You see, now I got all carried away, and we're going to go over by a minute or two, but that's okay. The reverse highlight, part of the reason I'm doing this is because I can't see this part of this arm. But if I put the reverse highlight on here, like so, I can totally see where this arm is now. Right? Put this highlight here. Right along this side, right here. This is where it's closest to. Now remember, when you pull your arm up like this, even when you pull it like this, you can see how I get two definition lines, especially right here. So we want to make sure we cover those definition lines, but we don't want them to be dramatic. So we're going to bring that back like so. Like this. So unlike these highlights, we kind of want to bring these around a little bit more, like so. Like so. Not this way though, because this is a highlight. Not to that back side. And then we'll bring that highlight up. So that it's right here on the front of her finger. Right here on her fingernail. Right? We're just identifying parts of her body that are highlighted. Helity? What do you call that? Anyway, highlighted. Bring this around sort of like so. Just kind of blend this in a little. Same thing here. This part of her finger is going to be. And this isn't even remotely going to be part of the magic. She woke you up, Monet. We knew that was going to happen, though, didn't we? While you were asleep, we were deciding whether we should send you to Japan to get me some blendies, because you're closer. And by we, I mean me, because actually, right? You're like, wait, what? What? Oh, he's like, what? Wait. How did I get assigned to Japan? Hey, you're closer than we are. We're a lot further away over here. You're closer. I have to figure that part out. That's harder. All right. Now with that, we actually have a lot more functionality to that picture. There's a lot more definition going, a lot more happening, stuff like that. I'm a much happier person with that particular picture. She's looking a lot cooler. She's coming along a lot better. Right? You're not even old enough to get a passport yet. That's a problem. But once you do get a passport, Hone, I need blendies. So you'll have to go all the way to Japan to get blendies. I'm just saying. But we're friends, right? Totally messing with you. Totally messing with you. All right. I think I'm done here. I think we're done for the day. I'm hungry. I want to go get food. I don't know where I'm going to go get food. Why am I all squished? Look at me being wider than I am tall. Why am I so squished? What happened? But I've lost a lot of weight. And you don't believe me. Okay. What is going on here? Why are we so weird? I don't know. Looks like it's almost right. Yeah, right? Totally. Settings go brrr. Nope. Okay, well, this at least added to my entertainment value for one day. Nope. There. Weird. Very strange. What a weird thing. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. It was good to see you, Hone. Tell Second Breakfast we said hi, even though I know she's driving me crazy. But tell her we said hi anyway, and we will see you later. I don't know when I will be back to do this, because, I mean, theoretically I'll be back Monday night, but last Monday I was so tired. So don't kill her. She's nice. She's a sweetie. She took care of you. So you have to end up doing that. That's like, I keep saying that to my wife. She got drunk one night and was really, really sick drunk. And she was like, I feel so bad. And I'm like, don't feel bad. It's part of what we do as relationship people. We just it doesn't matter whether you're a friend or that's like part of the rules. We're supposed to do that. So I'll see you guys later. I don't know when I'll be back. I know that tonight I'm going to go over to Troy's and hang out with him and watch the boys. So no, drunks are never any fun. So I'm going to go watch the boys tonight with my buddy Troy. So I won't be able to come back here for tonight's show, but Brian will probably be back. And I might join you guys over the weekend. We'll have to see. But anyway, either way, we'll keep going and we'll do what we can do. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.